my camera's gonna shut off and on periodically, so I'll probably shoot this in several takes. It's just sometimes technical difficulties, and I do this sitting in bed, relaxed, especially if allergies have gotten a hold of me. Okay, well, I was busy explaining all your stuff's in the seventh house. I want a partner. It doesn't mean you always get one, but you're always looking. And it's Libra house. Libra house looks up to the ideal that's unobtainable. So the first time you meet Mr. Wonderful and he smiles at you with spinach in his teeth, you're going to find that you're going to reject him because you're going to be that picky. And that's just, it's not picky. It's, I love beauty and I love charm. That's Libra. But in the real world, that's not always possible. Taurus has a down-to-earth attitude, though, thank goodness. And it sounds like you come from down-to-earth roots, but all the people in your family are very smart. This is your family house, the fourth house. It's ruled by Aquarius, so you have a lot of, if they're not well-educated, they're well-read. You have, right now, Jupiter, the Great Beneficent, by solar progression, one of my favorite transits, just by progression went into your first house. And it's in a good forward motion. You don't need to worry about that technicality. So that's going to make you happy right there. That's when something comes along, and that's where it gets mysterious. What is it? Something comes along to make you very happy. My guess is in a couple of years, you can start now, you're going to want to go back to school. It's kind of coming up in your chart. School, travel, and learning new things. And that's showing up in some other areas of your chart. When you have Jupiter, I want to travel. And also I want to study something new. Something like where you study all the religions, comparative religions. I'm trying to think of the more philosophical sides of psychology. It'll come to me. The new humanitarian types of psychology kind of would light your fire. And but these things are coming to you. Somebody's going to come and inspire you. I want to study these cool things. In-depth psychology, positive. There's new positive types of psychology. Instead of discovering all the things that are wrong and trying to fix them, you start looking at all the things that are right. And that's in the humanities, that's upcoming field, how to bring out the best out in people. So you made people beautiful, now it's time to make them smile, I suppose. So that's the nice thing. It's coming, it's happening now. A trip to Hawaii, that with all your family, that's Jupiter in the first house, and that's just the beginning. So lucky you. Saturn is Mr. Humbug. He's old Mr. Humbug. I hope you can see it. I get talking and I forget to point. This is Jupiter, the Great Beneficent, and this is Saturn, Mr. Thou Shalt Not Have It. Everything is serious. Life is serious. First has Saturn crossover. It's been there for, what, 4 years. And everything's serious. And then Mr. Jupiter comes along who wants to play and also explore mentally and physically. Let me go take a foreign exchange class. You're free. And that might be a good thing about not having kids right now. I wouldn't worry about whether you're going to have kids or not. A little detail research might show what we're going to have pop up as far as kids. But the way your your progressions are, these progressions are working, is you're going to be happy. That's the whole idea. But the children might, the desire to have children might come too late. It's kind of like me. You have these planets coming up to your moon, which always means I'm going to have kids. But they're coming up too late. But somehow the universe provides. So I wouldn't worry about it. You can't plan some things out, even if you study this stuff till the end of time. Let me go back to your natal chart and show you some things. I'm finding, oh, I think I want to get into just your basic aspects, because they tell the story. Hold on. Just okay. The ruler of your ascendant is Scorpio, 5 degrees. Here it is. Scorpio is a very mysterious sign, and the ruler of Scorpio is Pluto. This is why I suggest studying some type of psychology. It would light your fire. You're very bright, as you may know. I don't have to tell you that. Your brothers and sisters are smart too, and they're intellectual. They might like to tinker around with mechanical or computer stuff, but that's not the main thing. There's a lot of brilliance here with Mercury trine Jupiter. Means I can express myself. I would suggest, sorry about my hand. I would suggest, without delay, going and signing up for Toastmasters in local neighborhood. You must learn to orate. How do you like that? And that would be the way to learn. These guys are lots of fun, and they really challenge you. You need that. You're so brilliant. With Jupiter, I think positively. And Mercury, I communicate positively. And you should be studying positive psychology. If you're not drawn to it, I'd be surprised. You have Scorpio rising. I cannot express myself because it's all so deep inside of me. I just can't. It's like I can't get one foot in front of the other when it comes to really expressing myself. Unlike our Sagittarian friends that can talk all day, it's more difficult for you. But it shows the ability to get to the heart of the matter. With Pluto, the ruler of your ascendant, in the 12th house, I believe in things that are big. And I also believe in looking under the surface for the causative issues. So that is your Pluto in the 12th house with the ruler of your ascendant. And some people think that's more important than anything. Now, the three main points in a chart is your rising. That's kind of like the first peep over the horizon when you're born. That's the first light coming up. If you were just standing there on the table when you popped out and you took a picture of the sky, you'd be looking right up at the sun right there. And it's a very exact thing. And there's reasons for it, but I won't bore you with it. You have the moon shows what I need emotionally. And it's in the 9th house of higher learning. I need to learn stuff in the psychological, religious, comparative religions. I would stick with the psychology, but Pluto sends you over to the psychology. If you stay as an anesthetician, that's great, because you're kind of meant to do that, dealing with beauty and beauty projects and making people beautiful. Also, this is someone that likes jewelry, so express yourself more with jewelry. That's Taurus, Venus and Taurus. I love beauty, and it's showing up in your actual lifestyle. What I need emotionally, I need to look further and deeper. To feed myself emotionally, I need a good idea, a brilliant sentence, something inspiring will open you up to new worlds. So sorry about my hand. I'm trying to hold my silly camera straight without it shutting off. So I would suggest ideally going overseas to study. This is often, I like living in a foreign country and I like the environment there. So you have it's not necessary, but these studies I've suggested would be nice. You have a lot of earth, water, moons, and Cancer. I love my family, but they live far away. This is going to put your family far away. Always in the ninth house. I'm surprised you're all in the same country. I wouldn't be surprised if some of you didn't branch out to other countries, um, maybe through a Canadian contact or something. So you have, I wouldn't be surprised if you have more of a foreign contact with family. You have Scorpio. I must look deeper, and I need to express myself. I'm in this box. Help, help, let me out. But boy, have I got the stuff to express my positive ideas. So expressing yourself via, the first thing I think about is Toastmasters, but there are some classes in college where you learn communications on all kinds of levels. We are in a new age of communications. And here with Jupiter trine Mercury, also this means I'm down to earth. I'm not going to be babbling about things that have no substance. And Oprah has a big Saturn aspect that says she's optimistic, but she's going to get down to the nitty gritty of things. And that's what's made her so amazingly popular with people. She's an Aquarian. So here I'm looking for the ideal partner. Well, I don't know. Someone that's in, but all these other things bring happiness. And so it comes to you no matter what. Now, let's look at the Taurus sun. Taurus has a sense of humor. I'm sorry, but they like humor and music. So Taurians with an aspect like this are off listening to a concert, all kinds. All kinds. Could be rock, it can be the Philharmonic. There's a type of cultured personality here. Give me cultured pearls and take me to the opera. And the moon, I love my family, but I'm also want to take a cooking class where I'm studying different types of cooking. This is important. I like different cultures in reference to cuisine. And here, I'm in a box. Let me out. How are you going to get out? You're going to start expressing yourself. And that's going to make a big, big difference in the happiness quota, which is going to happen anyway with Jupiter passing over your ascendant. Just watch and see. Yes, of course, there's some serious stuff coming up, but with Jupiter over the ascendant, that is always like, that's so good. That's where you don't have to plan or worry about anything because it just kind of happens. Where you have a nest. Whoops, sorry for the train. You have a nest egg somewhere. You're gonna build up your nest egg of happiness and fruitfulness, and hopefully you're gonna figure out a way to go back and study. You're smart enough, so you have the energy. You go back to school. I'm gonna show you something neat on your progressions. You had an aspect. This is how. No wonder I forgot the seventh house is the house of grandparents. Well, look at your grandparents and look at the example and wonderful things they bought you. And this is that they have influenced you so much. This is the house of grandparents. And look, you just went to Hawaii with your grandparents. You can't beat that. So not everybody has that, and they're alive and healthy, and living a good life. You had an aspect here. Well, this one's just kind of around you. It's kind of one of the caregiver. But I don't think you'd be, there's a possibility you could decide to go care for your grandparents, but because they are getting on in years, but one way or another, they will be cared for. But this shows the caretaker too. Um, so I don't think you'll be doing it physically because you had this aspect start into effect when before me, you had another elderly lady that was making her transition. And I think that did show a very serious aspect, and that did affect you. And I'm telling you, if you hadn't been doing that, it would have been one of your grandparents. So that's your good karma come back. It was going to be played out somewhere. This is, I want to be free. This is Uranus, the planet of freedom. I want to be free. Don't tie me down. These people don't marry easy. This is Uranus. This is very eccentric, very smart, very unusual. It's a ruler of Aquarius. It's in opposition to Venus. Well, this means give me my freedom. Don't put a ring on me. Don't fence me down. And it speaks very differently. That aspect does not go well with I need roots, security, a home. I need my family. Those things can be a bad mix. So you can't negate one with the other. You just work out a way that you have your freedom, but you have your security and you have a family. And that will come to pass. This family up in the ninth house means I am going to live in another country, or I'm going to take on some children of another nationality in some way. That'll come to you. Those things you can't work out. I think my video is getting up to 20 minutes, so I'll have to cut it short. It can only do it it can only stand my bantering for so long. And believe me, you have progression, different types of everybody has different types of progressions and different ways of interpreting. But it's like the Hindi fellow I talked to has a different system, but it all boiled down to the same thing. And I thought it was very, very good. I'm gonna look at Mars real quick. Yeah. So I'll cut it short, and if my camera lasts, I'll take a look at some of your other progressions.